Okay. Oh yes. Exciting times. New Nikon camera day. I'm so excited. I can't get my words out.
Exactly.
So a week ago,
Yeah.
we had a preview of what we expected and what we wanted, and we were thinking like what they're going to take away or restrict.
What are you talking about? The Z5 Mark II.
Yeah. To make it, to make it budget friendly and to be like entry level
Full
camera.
frame.
Yeah, full frame camera.
Yeah.
So the answer is, what have they taken away? Nothing much at all.
Taken away from the bigger brothers?
Yeah.
Really?
Hardly anything.
So has it got... Because, to be honest, you messaged me today. Assuming I knew about this momentous launch today. And, of course, I was busy working in the garden or doing something.
Yeah.
And I had absolutely... What are you talking about? So,
Yeah.
Okay, I know you will have studied it.
Yeah, so the original was groundbreaking for its time because it held its head above the competition. You had IBIS, 2 card slots, full frame.
Yeah.
So now, everyone was thinking, what? And I've watched all the YouTube, well, a lot of the big YouTubers released at the same time. And I think they're all a bit put back by it because it's so high spec. They're like, where does this fit now?
Oh. So it's got the same sensor as what then?
ZF.
Right,
which is 26 megapixels. It's got IBIS, it's got 2 card slots, it's got N-Log for raw video. It's got
the autofocus system off.
Same processor as the rest of them.
Wow.
It's got N-Log for video, 4K 30 N-Log.
So what hasn't it got then? It won't have the little screen on top of the camera, but that's not important.
Well, the ZF doesn't have that anyway.
No, so anyway, yeah.
So I quickly went on trying to compare the specs for the ZF.
Yeah.
The only difference I can see, the ZF has 14 frames per second. This new one has 11 frames per second.
Right.
All the other specs are the same as the ZF, apart from the retro design, obviously.
Okay. How's the price comparing?
It's coming at brand new 1,600.
Right.
Which, well, the Z5 originally was 1,400, but with inflation, I think that's about the same now.
What is the ZF?
So brand new, a ZF is 2,200. But as we know, I've seen it on used market today on the camera shop, mint condition, 1,400.
Right.
And then we've got the Z6 III. Brand new is 2,500.
Right.
But as we've seen lately, you can get it for 1,800 in mint condition.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1,600, and then if you buy it used, they're all about the same price.
Given the choice now, though, if you hadn't got a second camera for your Z8 and you weren't going to go out and get another Z8, what would you get?
For my work, I would get the Z5 too.
Yeah.
Because the ergonomics.
Yeah.
So the ZF appeal, is you love it or hate it, is the retro design, the ergonomics.
You were just... That was what turned your head, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's all retro. Look at the little knobs and dials
it's
on it.
It's really attractive, and a camera, if you want to pick up a camera and use it, that's important. The retro design of that is gorgeous, but ergonomically, it's a pain.
Yeah.
Bigger, even with a smaller grip, it can't compete with a Z6 style grip.
No.
In bigger lenses, it's a pain.
Yeah.
So for work, I'd have the Z6 or Z5 too, but for everything else, I like the ZF.
You still like it?
I like it, but because I'm doing so much work with it,
I
want a bigger grip.
Yeah.
I want the ergonomics of the Z6 or Z5 too. No. So let's compare it to the Z6 III because, this is, let's have a look. So the Z6 III has 20 frames per second compared to the 11.
Right, okay, yeah.
Video specs are higher. So with the Z6 III, you got 12-bit, 4K, 120, slow-mo. You can't do that with the Z5 II. It does 4K 60, but that's cropped. With the Z6 III, you can even do 240p at 1080, which is really nice. Okay. So that's a massive difference if you need that.
Exactly.
Because the Z5 II has N-Log, 10-bit, 4K 30. That's what we use most of the time anyway.
Yeah. Somebody on YouTube was telling me that the Z6 III has terrible dynamic range.
Well, on paper, the Z5 II will have better dynamic range than
the Z6 III.
Because it has the fully mechanical shutter, no partial stuff.
Okay.
So, but the downside of that is the Z5 II will have rolling shutter because of the readout isn't as high. So you will get that warping with the movement.
So if you were really video centric, really concentrating on video, you'd probably be sorely tempted to go for the Z6 III.
Yeah.
But for stills, I mean, most of what I do is stills, and you, I guess, really. I mean, obviously we do video for this and Tales of the Wild, but it's not like really demanding video, is it?
No,
so if we're mainly doing stills, Z5 II would be good enough, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, I'm surprised. I'm really impressed by Nikon doing this, because when the Z52 came out, we were a bit like, well, there's not no IBIS, doesn't really stand out from the crowd, but this is definitely amazing. To be honest, I like the screen on top. I use it more than I think I do.
Do you? Oh, okay.
I know these days a lot of people wouldn't, I suppose, because you got it through the electronic viewfinder, you got the monitor, but sometimes I just glance down and I see the settings, like, oh, something's wrong.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But that's just me.
It's a nice to have, but not essential.
But can we call it entry level now? Because £1,600, is that entry level?
Well, it's, I suppose, the other way of looking at it, it's the cheapest Nikon full frame camera, isn't it?
The newer versions,
so it's the entry level from that point of view, but I know what you mean. Just while we're talking about comparatives then, and I asked you this last week, can you still, are they still selling a Z6 Mark II?
I was just looking at my notes. Yes, I looked this up before it came. So you can buy a Z6 II for £1,800. So
why would anybody do that?
This new camera is much highly spec'd than the Z6 II.
So Z6 II must have something that it's obviously got the little screen on top.
Well, for single point, if you're happy with single point, the old gens
I mean, I'm saying that, but I use it as my second camera, and it's absolutely fine. But it's single point, back button focus, focus recompose or something, you know.
The Z6 II used for £700.
Right, okay.
And the Z5, you can still buy it for £1,200 brand new.
Mark 1?
Yeah, but you can get it used for about 600.
Yeah, okay.
So that if you only need single point, and you don't need all these flashy gizmos or good video capability and the eye tracking and stuff, then the older ones do for you. But there's a really interesting option there. Well, my advice is, don't buy it now, the Z5 Mark II, because it's full price. Because
you said that with the Z6 Mark III, and you were right, weren't you? It wasn't that long before.
Under 6 months later, it dropped at least 20%. And we just went to the photography show. It was £1,800.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, but I think partly though, that why it dropped so quickly, the Z6 III. I think because they just overpriced it in the first place when you were comparing it to say the Z8. You know, the gap that it was in. It just looked out of kilter really. So. I'm not sure you can necessarily say that with the Z5 Mark II.
No, because, well, no, but it will go down on promo. So my advice is to wait.
Hang on,
They'll easily take 20% off. And then, then there's a big price difference between them.
Because I think in a perfect world, I mean, I love the Z8. Z6 Mark II is my second camera, which, you know, is a very different camera, but gives great results, but you just got to know how to use it, sort of thing. I can't justify another Z8 as my second camera.
No,
but
not can I really.
So at some point I would like to update my Z6 Mark II, but this is probably, if that goes into promo and 20% drops off it, then it's starting to think,
let's say £1,400. Then why wouldn't you?
It's
so
good.
This is really
good news,
revolutionary almost, actually, I think.
Because you are getting excited now.
Well, it's true, they can really show, you know, this stands out. But again, the price is high, but if you're starting out, you'd probably go for a Gen 1 version, wouldn't you? And for £600 you can get the first version and it's full frame.
I remember when the Z9 first came out and the autofocus was suddenly Nikon's autofocus has suddenly leapt ahead by years because it had been dragging behind by years. And you basically, sounds like you're saying now, this Z5 Mark II has got that same autofocus as the Z9, which was groundbreaking at £4 or £5 grand, whatever it cost back in the day.
And now that technology is in a camera that's £1,600 brand new. Yeah, what do you guys think?
What do you think? Are you going to go rush out and buy one? Or are you going to do as Russell says, wait for the promos to come through?
Yeah, and then it'll be an absolute bargain. Just imagine it's £1,400.
Yeah, all that.
So there we go. What do you guys think? I'm impressed by it.
Are you going to get one?
Yeah.
Well, so I'm impressed by it. Sounds good to me.
Really good.
So
yeah. Okay. See what you think.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.